What's up, Chaille?
Hey, how's it going?
Going.
Brett Erickson.
Hey.
All right. One to go. There's Andy.
Hey.
There he is.
Hey, Andy.
Hey.
What's happening?
Nothing yet. I don't know. I ate an edible. It's activation time. I'm in it. I'm in the activation time, but right now.
Oh man, I got so high the other night I couldn't even talk to my dog.
Edible?
Yeah,
Yeah. It's amazing how high you get with those.
I just
Sometimes.
felt like really weird, and I felt like the dog was picking up on my weirdness, and I thought, I don't want to freak this dog out anymore. I'm just gonna leave the dog alone.
You were so high, you were fucking up the dog's vibe.
Yeah, it was bad, man. It
You
was.
may have been you may have been overthinking it a little.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, here's what it was. It was Saturday night, and I took an edible, and we were just having drinks, and then Carrie Mitchell remembered, oh yeah, I'm watching Jasmine's cat. So we had to drive across town and go to Jasmine's apartment and check on the cat. And I managed to do that. I managed to drive over there and back and walk the dog while I was over there, and everything was fine. And I felt pretty accomplished when we got back because I was pretty high. And then when we got back, Carrie Mitchell's like, here, Birdie, you're going to get a treat, but only after your dad gives it to you and makes you shake. And I said, no, I don't do that. I don't make her shake. I don't make her do tricks to get treats. And then
Politics.
Yeah. And then Mitchell got mad at me for it, said I was being weird. And then I decided I was being weird. And then that only made me weirder. And then I got really weird about it. And then I panicked.
I wish I would have.
Why do you need a manager for treat delivery?
She was like, wow, is this your first time being high? And I'm like, it might be.
Mm-hmm.
Holy fuck.
All those other times are just failed attempts.
Well, I mean, I was so high when we left. Like I was so nervous about driving over there and back that when we got back, I was like, I felt like done. I was done. I'm like, all right, I did it. And then all of a sudden I was given this other weird task I didn't want to do. And then I just sort of panicked.
You made it.
Enjoy your edible. I just can't hang anymore, man. I'm out of the fucking weed game.
I was thinking about it today, about how I just don't smoke weed. I mean, I've got a really bad track record, and I drank and did other things, did other recreationals, and I was like watering the just doing some mindless thing. Thinking today, and I was thinking, man, I'm so glad I didn't like make myself like weed earlier, because now it's this whole new horizon. I mean, I take a bite, the tiniest sliver, and I'm like, I hope I can handle this.
Yeah.
But it's like there is some frontier out there for me to navigate without it having to be, some like super hard drug or something like that. I can get stuff that's it's legal now, and I can just eat it. It's fucking, I was like just tripping going, man, that worked out pretty good. I mean,
Just think of Cobain started doing heroin at this age instead of earlier.
It's got to be hard to get into the heroin game when you're 60.
Yeah,
You're hanging out with a like 20-year-old.
but that's really
black
when
leather
you should.
jacket.
When
Yeah.
it's- old people cling to life so much.
Yeah,
That's when you should be like, man, I'm gonna fucking try that heroin. I haven't done that shit.
And that's when you have money too, is when you get old. So you get all the young kids will love hanging out with you because
You can spend down the inheritance.
Show me how to tie up my arm again, sweetheart. What was your name? Shit.
What did this tattoo used to be on your arm, Grandpa?
It's it. My brother Larry's got I think I've told you about Larry's tattoo. It's in prison he thought it was Jesus, but it looks like the zigzag man, or it's either that or the other way around. It don't look like either of them anymore.
Zigzag.
It looks like
man?
how it probably looks more like how Ted Nugent looks now, as Nuge has gotten older. When he was youthful, my grandma did a lot of art. I mean, not good art, but I'm sure I told you about her period where she drew a lot of real sketchy looking Jesus.
pictures?
Yeah, Nugent ask Jesus carrying sheep around. I wish I would have.
No.
I should have said.
sheep.
Well, she it was always Jesus, with the sheep over his shoulder, but it never was Christ-like enough. Maybe it's how he really looked. My grandma didn't draw like I think she could do buildings all right, she fancied
What you mean, rectangles?
well, like she like
Well, they had a
compliment.
triangle on the top.
No.
Chaille, come
like
on.
if she did,
Wow,
if she do,
a building with the sun shining on it. You're
That's
really
what-
coming along, Auntie.
right. Yeah, like if somebody encouraged an 8th, 9th grade student that wasn't very good or whatever, and then they never took an art class, I don't know. She liked doing it, and a lot of them disappeared when she was in the nursing home. So I don't know if they thought she was maybe a Picasso or something, maybe an undiscovered.
Is this one of hers? Is this one
Well,
of
she
her-
was pretty. She had better than that, but when she
Yeah.
drew animals and people, and then she did a lot. She was fascinated by a group of geese flying off together, but she could never quite capture it.
A bunch of M's in the
Yeah.
sky?
Did she get these regular canvases and shit, and then she would start in on it, and then that's what she would end up with, like a blurry bunch of geese or a hippie in a
Scratch
row.
fever Jesus.
Yeah, kind of a pissed off Jesus carrying a wounded sheep. What else she like to draw? Well, she was in the Death Valley, so she'd draw scenes with donkeys and miners. And God damn it, I wish I would have saved. I saved one that wasn't embarrassing at the time, but I didn't realize the embarrassing ones were her best efforts. And she drank, I'd like to find some from her wine pants shitting period. That would have been those would have been
That's,
holy shit, man.
yeah.
No wonder she's
That was her brown period.
she's chipping away at the legend of Christ here and lashing out at the human condition, and also drinking Midnight Train, I think it was.
Night train.
Night Train, and then Boone's. She liked the Boone's Farm.
Yeah.
Wow. I think she
Fruity
just liked to
shit.
spend $2 a bottle
She was.
more than anything else.
She liked to. I don't know if she really threw money around so much as she talked about anytime like she would do something for my family, she'd announce it at the Safeway store or wherever she. I don't mind helping them. I help them build a shower in their bathroom, like shit like that. She'd say like nobody at Safeway gives a fuck, Grandma, but she would. She was charitable but loud about it. And at the grocery store she'd go. I always give him he knows I always, give him every $2 bill or whatever. And then she go, I buy him stuff. And then I'd have like pornography eventually up in there for a while, went from Spider-Man, a couple trips. I was Spider-Man and Luke Cage, Power Man, black superhero that had bulletproof skin. He got in prison. That was his backstory. And I would get those comic books, and then I'd gotten molested, and then I would go and then I'd start getting Playboys and trying to get beers in there. I don't know if there's any correlation there between being adulthood and coming home. And I'd come home after watching porn and go, how am I going to get a look at some titties? I didn't have my own stash of them.
Ooh, you can take a breath, Andy. There's a lot going on in there.
That's the edible saying hello.
Yeah. Hey, if we can go back to your auntie, with her like laying down all these this like flowery explanations about what she does at your house, it sounds like she's laying down an alibi.
Well, see, she
I'm
did.
here. I'm here with my my nephew.
Well,
and
no,
I'm buying him lots of things, and we're going back home.
That's why she got involved in our lives, is because she estranged herself from my old man, and they kind of had a truce. But towards the end, remember I told you about the dueling oxygen Like my dad had an oxygen tank and grandma needed oxygen. So she would like, she's got, so I don't think he ever got over it either, but grandma came back there to make amends. And then when her husband died, her new husband, my new, he was my new grandpa, Larry. And there's just, we had too many Larrys around. So we had to, I wonder if my brother Larry ended up with Grandpa Larry's gold teeth. Because my grandma, when Grandpa Larry died, he had all these gold teeth, and she molted them down to a necklace. And then I don't know what happened to that, but I assume somebody, that was probably the most.
Hold on a second. She just like got a
fucking like a lump,
a little jar, a baby jar full of fucking teeth.
His gold fillings and shit over the years. Yeah, he's fucking had a mouthful of metal.
Yeah,
I remember him. He would be like
that. You can't leave that in there.
Yeah, but why does she get them?
Well,
instead of a ring,
when he got melted down,
for a ring.
She got all the gold from his teeth, and then as you do.
That's not really a good present.
She had it for herself. She
would have had to extract that, but it's not like once they melt you down, they have like a pile. Here's all the gold that was left after we melted him down.
Maybe so. Maybe they fell out. I don't know what happened there, but she had Larry's gold teeth, and it was it's like 6 teeth worth, I'd estimate.
Was Larry? Did she get the teeth? Did she show up with the teeth all to get all of them after Larry died? Or was it like every couple of years be like,
she got them all,
she got
maybe that
Altoids tin?
She got them all melted down after he was gone, but I didn't really think about that. I just, maybe she did pull them out. He wouldn't have been able to tell anybody. At least no one was listening at that. And then she would have asked, no, I wouldn't be cruel enough, but he didn't care for me at all. That's for sure. He didn't even look at me like a pedophile would look at it. He just didn't have any use for me at all.
Finally, a grown man that leaves you alone.
Yeah. I guess I didn't realize, how much restraint he had.
Yeah.
Like, you really don't, I would have been the one I would have worked to get. Like, come on, Grandpa. Come on, Grandpa. You can't resist
his little
this.
Daisy Dukes,
like me.
trying to reach the cookie jar.
Grandpa, I'm gonna go get my scouting outfit on. Would you lift me up to get the cookie jar? No, get away from me, little pretties. He never even he just didn't interact with at least me. He did interacted with the older kids because they were useful or whatever. He'd have them do chores or whatever, but I never was his thing until he had a stroke. And then he's like, he called me Randy. His grandma goes, "You know who this is?" And he goes, "Randy." Hi, Larry. Good to see you again. I'm going to be rummaging through your shit in a few days.
Start looking in his mouth.
Yeah, actually, though, I did end up with his pride and joy old dog. I didn't get to really ruin it, but he had a Dodge truck, one of those old, like ugly orange and shit. My brother Jeff would get it airborne. And there was a spot where we could drive up this thing and then catch air in it. And I never really get to abuse that vehicle as much as I did. We got a Chevy Love with a stick shift after that. You cannot do shit with that. It takes all you can do to get it in first, second to get the speed up to third.
Well, Chevy Love's a small truck, whereas that Dodge was going to be a big size.
I would have killed myself in that one for sure.
Competition.
It had a real fucking big engine in it. I think they got rid of it just because it was too much for my family.
Yeah, you guys are more Chevy Love station wagon.
Yeah, we should have been born in the Prius era. we're all too much speed puts us off the road.
My redneck ass family would cut the firewalls out of Chevy Loves and drop 350s in them. This truck's tiny. It'd be great if it went really fast.
So when you cut the firewall out, Is it? Can you just like when you're driving it, you can like see the asphalt underneath you? Like,
well, you would put a new firewall in,
so
but
you
it's just
you
further back.
rig
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, usually like a stop sign. You bang an old stop sign in, and drill it in.
Wow. That is that's something. I wish I had a Shank around to help fix up them cars I drove. Goddamn.
Yeah, the truck runs fine, but there's been a lot of accidents out at the four-way. The stop sign is missing.
That's a way to go, is to soup up something like that. Please try to pull over a Chevy Love and shit. They don't expect it to fucking have balls to it. It's probably why they did it. Outrun the po-po.
Mm-hmm. Oh, look at that. Look at that freeze pipe going.
Went onto the soda again.
Doing them real light. But I have been like scaled back on a lot of shit. Not
you shouldn't be like, drinking. You shouldn't be drinking
soda.
And he's trying for a new cancer. That last one didn't have any class action.
No, that was regular. He's just going for diabetes.
I've been sending letters to military people saying, "Do you remember a little baby being at Camp Lejeune with you? I might have stayed there and slept on the couch for a weekend or something."
Man, those ads are all over.
I know, man. Yeah, it went from a lot of local radio. Now it's got an infomercial.
Yeah,
I get it showing, people running, and then the dreaded Camp Lejeune water.
I get a spam email at least once a day. Hey, you were at Camp Lejeune. Give us a call. We're gonna help you out.
Crazy.
It's
Plus one Andy.
They're waiting until everybody's dead on that one, pretty much. They'll be hitting people up in Flint in about 30 years. Hey.
Oh yeah, that'll happen.
Or anybody get sick from the water of Flint.
The problem with the Flint is that there's nobody to pay, nobody to provide money to pay the clients.
If they had money, they'd have water by now.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, disgusting, gross water is like the least we do to our soldiers. I mean, we've got them in the Middle East standing over fucking toxic garbage pits where they're burning everything they have.
They would love to have
electronics and shit like that in
Camp Lejeune water to put in their mask to cover up the stench of the fucking burning plastic and corpses and automobile engines and
just
shit.
Burn it all and stand here and watch it burn.
Yeah,
it's not on the news a lot, but Bisbee water is fucking undrinkable too.
Yeah, I've never hit tap water there at Bisbee.
What's wrong?
I got the reverse osmosis, and I got a sediment filter that I change out every 3 months as well.
Is it?
But, I
it's
always
the only way to use that water, though.
Yeah.
Everybody else that doesn't have that has to buy drinking water, and sometimes that water, I've seen that water to where you're like, I don't want to shower in that. Fuck, it's not even the right color.
So was that the same water they get to warn you about in Mexico, pretty much? You drink Bisbee water, you get the
mining has ruined
American
Bisbee
water is different than Mexico water.
Yeah, so it's just mining.
The mining in Bisbee has ruined the water there.
Do you taste it? Do you taste it? Tastes funny?
Oh yeah.
Well, there's a lot of sediment.
Like desperation.
There's a lot of sediment you see on the faucets where the water comes out, and then like if you've got it's like a hard water deposit, and then just the shit that I get in basically it's a sand filter. It's the first filter that comes in straight from the hose bib, like from the water main, and it is just dark. And for the first year, I didn't know there was a fucking filter down there. So now, I mean, I change it every 3 months now. I didn't change it for a year and a half when I first got here. I had no idea, and who knows who changed it before that.
Right.
So,
and you're probably
water pressure went up a bunch, probably.
Yeah, totally.
Is that you're probably one of the rare ones that's got the filter, or do you think everybody pretty much does?
Anyone who doesn't line up at the fucking windmill over at Safeway. Yeah, I see those people out there. It's like, how do you know what that water is filtered? They say it, but I don't see anyone working on that thing, changing out filters. So I mean, it's like
It's gonna be
$200 for the reverse osmosis on Amazon, and $60 every 6 months to change out the filters, or hump 5-gallon fucking barrels up my steps.
And that reverse osmosis water is better than any water you can get anywhere. I mean, that shit, that machine pulls it, everything out of it.
Yeah. So I'm still looking at it though. I mean, I still want, I don't know. I mean, how do you fucking know if there's something really shit nasty in there?
You see, Kanopka, I think it was Kanopka that posted, it was a pig farming video a guy posted, and he worked at a place where it's like it makes pig feed, but it's out of garbage and all the shit and plastic. Like,
are you talking about in Arizona, in Las Vegas?
I'm not sure where it is, but it's just the practice of that pigs can eat garbage. So like it's collected garbage, and then but it's just all the shit that doesn't really get sorted and gets ground up and fed to pigs. I don't eat a lot of ham, but that pretty much does it for me, man.
Yeah, I mean, just because a pig can eat garbage, doesn't mean it should.
Yeah, I mean, I would really have to. I would want to know if that was like, part of the. What did this pig? You don't think?
All right. First off, Andy, we're getting your version of what you kind of heard someone else.
No, I saw that it was a guy who was working at the factory. I think Kanopka posted it. It was a guy's what are the stupid short videos called?
A reel or a story on Facebook?
Anyway, it's now the social network that does the TikTok.
It's the details that really pull your story
this
together.
guy's TikTok video. He was at the thing and he was showing the filth and garbage and shit going by, and then the end product is all this ground up pig feed. So I mean, I don't blame Erickson for not eating pig so much anymore.
God, now I started again. Now you're ruined.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Fucking ham? Ham's one of those that I don't eat. I
don't really
shit
eat
out of
ham. No.
Turkey. It's like Hedberg's, man, can't you be yourself? But I do smoked turkey, turkey pastrami. I don't know. It's better. I'll get occasional roast beef, but for some reason I don't like living near them, and I don't really like turkey as like Thanksgiving turkey or whatever. But deli meat turkey, God damn it, they're delicious.
That's the one where they take all their feet and put them in a press and press it into a loaf and slice it up.
Yeah.
Do they really? God damn it.
Bon appetit.
And I've seen that.
Think it's any different? Any fucking commercial farm is different in the way they fucking handle it?
I can see
I've
why
been eating
people
Canadian bacon because I heard the northern pigs are cleaner.
I can see why people eat veal or like young, like veal's probably the main one. But you eat it within its first few months before it gets all fucking tainted up and shit.
I've never heard an argument for eating veal.
Sooner.
Like,
dude, hurry up.
Because the veal is fed the fucking mother's milk, but not by the mother. They're pulling the milk. They pull them from the mothers immediately, so the mother can have another or can keep producing milk, and then the milk that the babies get is fucking tainted with all the antibiotics that's in the fucking milk anyway. So how are you getting anything cleaner? It's like clean coal. There's no fucking such thing. There's no clean beef from a fucking regular factory farm.
I brought up one time was you buy meat from the store and it gives you like a sell by date. Usually it doesn't even give you an expiration. Just sell it by Best Buy this day. Put the day that motherfucker was killed on there. I would really like to know how long ago this animal was murdered before I'm eating it. That's the big thing.
Yeah,
that'll never happen because it's way more than you would probably be comfortable with.
Oh, that's why they got to put the dyes in it and stuff to keep it red. Because
think about like the people who go to those places that have to inspect them. They're probably like fucking cops, where there's probably like a certain number of them that are good at the job, and then a bunch of rotten apples that don't really do this, unless there's some sort of fucking
I just don't think there's enough of them.
Yeah.
I think there's very few and they're overworked. they just make a cursory fucking go of it at the plant and then go to the next place.
I feel like get a little bit removed from it, or Biden said it's over on 60 Minutes, but the pandemic, it's like, we don't have enough people to do key jobs to keep us safe. We need to lose a few. How many people do we need to lose, or whatever? I don't know. It just seems
You didn't
like
think we lost enough with
well,
the pandemic? We got to knock out a few more with
There's
bad.
no fucking signs everywhere, Andy.
Yeah, no, I'm not one of those people. I'm sorry for everybody who got sick and died. Just, it's a shame. It's a shame that a lot of people went down with that shit. I fear getting it. I got the new shot. I went and got double on a. I didn't even need to. I mean, well, I did. My daughter insisted that I get it, and all that. But I got a flu shot on the other arm. Like, fuck yeah, man.
Wait, did you get the flu and the booster at the same time?
Yeah, and I was eyeballing the shingles shot. Hey, what's that other one up there?
Go over the triple.
Get my hip.
But the flu shot I didn't even feel it. Not at all. I don't know. I've been afraid of needles, but it's like, fuck yeah, man. I might,
give a shit now.
Experiment.
Perspective now.
Uh-huh.
You know,
insulin, a little heroin, and put a little cocaine in it,
We just had the Blues and Bisbee out here over the weekend on Saturday, and there's there's a couple of booths. It was at the old Warren ballpark, and it was really good. There's a lot of people there. It's fun, but the booths along the back, I noticed when we were leaving, they had IV bags, and you fucking sit down, and a nurse gives you an IV in your arm of like B12 and shit. And I'm like, I've heard of that, but I've never seen, especially at like a fair setting. I mean, we're basically we're in the outfield of the Warren ballpark.
So it was a vendor, or was it
a vendor? Yeah.
Really?
You could go there, and then they have a little place for you to sit down, and they
they drop a saline bag, and
they have them in Phoenix, but not usually down here. It's a good fucking idea, but they're expensive.
I didn't even look. I forgot to even go up there. I was wrangling two drunks, so I really couldn't. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I don't think I like needles, but my big problem was watching my old man, and I shouldn't have been around. My dad would get pissed off at the person because he had fucked up. Maybe he didn't drink enough water. Hey, Dad, if you were listening, drink some water, because they always struggled to find veins, and then I would watch him get pissed off and everything, and I would watch him, and he'd react and shit. So like, I had a bad needle coach. That's all it was. Because I learned and then I cut to me getting a shot and running around the nurse's office and scrambling out, and those were makeup shots that so I volunteered for the first one, and then after that I was like, no man, I see my old man, and we don't do these. So I'm done with it. I'm no longer afraid. Bring needle drugs.
Congratulations, Andy.
Yeah. Well, when I got over the hurdle doing them myself, it's like there, you like when somebody else is doing it, you don't have to think about. You're the one poking it in there, so you control the whole thing and everything. Some of them fucking hurt, and there's a couple of times I said "ouch" to nobody. Nobody cares in the nurse. Nobody cares there. But when you say it, when you do it, ouch! Sorry, fella. I should have warned you.
Did you apologize when you said that?
Sorry, next time I'll do a countdown, you fucking baby.
When I was in the Army, when I was a kid, I had to do a combat lifesaver course, and part of it is a bunch of field medic stuff, but part of it was administering an IV, and we all had to get a buddy and do an IV, and that was where I learned that I had giant fucking veins that are easy to hit. And so everybody that couldn't get theirs, I'd go around offering up veins to, because as soon as we were all done, we got to go home. So I'd went around the class and let it fucking half the class stick me because I was the easy stick. But that was really helpful because the medic lived like 4 doors down from me. So on days when you'd get really hungover, you could go knock on his name was McElhinney, knock on McElhinney's door and be like, Doc, give me a bag, and he'd come give you one, and I'd give myself an IV right in the back of my hand and hang it up on the wall above me and sit there and watch cartoons in the morning, and you'd be feeling great by lunchtime, ready to drink again.
Nice. Wow. Yeah. So, now it'd be, I mean, I've been a big advocate of hiring somebody to give us sailing bags in the desert.
Yeah, we were going to do it in Vegas that one time. We had that nurse that it just never happened. That was the
quickest.
We were doing the original issues, the original Issues with Andy podcast up in
That's right.
That's right. The dive bar.
Yeah, it was that weekend.
Yeah,
it's the supplies that are hard to get. I could give us a shit. Jenny can give us IVs way better than me. She started off as a phlebotomist, but IVs are easy to stick. But goddamn, they're a lifesaver when you're hungover.
Oh yeah. Well, I've only had them. I had it that one time after a marathon, where I thought I was all right, and they waved me into the medical.
You were just standing in line, and you didn't know what for. They said next, and you went in the tent.
I mean, I snuck. But this time I was legit. I actually participated in the race, and it wasn't really a race. It was just me, beating everybody. No, beating my body, and hadn't trained very proper for it. But then they hooked me up with an IV. I didn't care if it was man or woman rubbing my legs. At first I was like, before the bag or whatever, I was like, oh man, this is going to be great seeing, the ladies rubbing and stuff. But I got a dude and it didn't matter.
Wait a minute. You thought that after running 26 miles dehydrated, you were going to be like, man, this is going to be sweet.
I didn't even know I was like having a medical. No, I didn't even know I was having a medical emergency. Some old dude. So it seemed like a real old dude, but he was probably about the age I am now or younger. And he goes, hey man, you need to hit the medical tent. And I had heard that at the last couple of water stations.
There was a buzz going around.
That's what they were saying.
There was some talk, and that was the year that somebody had died in the race that I up before that. So they were probably hypersensitive. They go, here comes another one down the hill, ignoring all logic and shit. And but I wouldn't have thought I needed to go to the medical tent, but this old fella recommended it, and then I go, oh, I'm all right. And he goes, no, trust me, you need to go to the medical tent. I don't know what he was looking at. I looked at a guy,
I'm suspect.
picked up the pace and beat a woman who had probably 20 years on me and a leg brace. But I smoked her at the end. I had a fucking. I looked like I was dying, and then I hit a ridiculous kick because I saw my competition 50 yards in front of me, and no way was she beating me. I think that's how I scored under the 4-hour mark.
Oh wow, you went under 4 hours in a marathon?
Just under 350.
Holy shit, dude.
I didn't pay attention to training or nothing, and I didn't have.
You understand how fast that is?
Hold on a second. It also landed in the tent. The
2 hours. 2 hours is the winners.
Yeah, but
so that's like
you have no chance.
This I think I wasn't even 40 yet. I think I was in my 30s.
You're running 8.5 or 9 minute miles.
I would walk some. But I think
you were really running fast when you were running.
I stayed with the front group because I talked shit to them, and I wanted to, I didn't stay with them, but I tried to stay with faster people. It's probably a fluke time that I was, because I was aggressively trying to get done with the race. And then I would run as fast, and as long as I could not quit, but then walk at a fast pace. I obviously wasn't taking water or pit breaks, and then when you don't take water breaks, you don't have to stop and pee at all. But that's what happened, and then
Well,
I
I
got
mean,
wasted.
shouldn't you be expiring the water through sweating?
Well, yeah, that's what
Yeah.
happened. I mean,
I
but
don't think
yeah,
he
I
was
mean-
taking in water. That's the point.
well, but if you power load the water at the beginning of it,
Yeah.
ideally,
I don't know
people
if that's really what you're supposed to
I
do,
don't
though.
think that's a tactic. It's,
I mean, I have a bowl of fuzz soup, and I can't even walk to the car without sound like I'm moving a 30-gallon aquarium.
well,
Overload the water.
you want to grease
not
your
a
nipples. I
camel.
remember you want to grease your nipples, and you want to put Vaseline in your crotch and between your ass cheeks. That's all.
Any of
You
that
know.
either.
I create my own Vaseline if I walk. That's no
Yeah.
problem.
You don't
That's
do
a really
enough.
fast time though, Andy. I'm not even kidding. That's good.
I was
That's
remember I was
9-minute miles.
Yeah.
oh,
That's a fast
fucking
clip, I think.
sick.
now I gotta go find
That's
my
sick for anyone sitting in this podcast. I mean, there's other people who could be like, I can.
Oh, for sure.
3 hours. But I'm saying for any one of us here to say they did a 4-hour
I
marathon.
remember, I
fucking
remember
right
it
on.
was
yeah.
it was like you know, like a good 10 days before I was, you know, I didn't stretch any of that shit. I was fucked up, man. It was like I don't even know if it was you know, it was a suicide attempt.
Might have been. That's
I'll just stay with this group until I drop dead, and then not drinking water was almost. You know, if I was on my own doing that, I would have been dead probably in another half hour. But I was like that. You know, I was all gray and shit.
just for context. I think my time was 5 hours and 22 minutes. Yeah, 5 hours and 22 minutes. And that was as fast as I could do it. That's as
That
fast
was
as I
what
could
you were-
fucking do it.
You were. That was not that many years ago, though.
That
Right?
was a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And you were, I guess you were a lot younger, but still.
yeah. I
That's
was
a
in.
fucking, that's a,
In the army, when we ran long distances, we would run real slow, but we'd have to run a timed 2-mile for a PT test. And I was like 14 minutes, like that's the max. Like I think 14:30 was like the most I could do as a young person, and I would be pushing it every single time. I was never a good runner, even when I was skinny.
I said, I watched this guy that I live on a really steep hill, and I stopped to watch this guy go up the hill. I act like I was getting my mail, and I wasn't gaying out or nothing. He looked like Junior Stopka, but fit. Like if you put, you know, Junior Stopka's head on a young fit guy. But I was watching him when he was running up the hill, just taking really short steps, but you know, keeping that same pace going. And then I was like, I wonder if that dude's gonna come hit this monster hill, and he did. He chewed it up without. He didn't, you know. He came from a flat part, and he hit the hill. He was doing the same, you know, same pace the whole way up the hill. Whereas that's a fucking hill that I you know, walking it. Right now, I'm not in great shape, but going up it, I used to be able to just walk it all at once, and now I like hump over a few times, take some deep breaths. But yeah, fucking fit Junior. I got to get a pic. Well, then that's crossing
Yeah.
a line. If I get a picture of
Maybe
him.
not do that.
back to hanging out in the weeds across the street from his
Yeah.
mailbox.
Yeah.
Ghillie suit time
If
again.
you could put Mishka's head on the or if you could put Junior's head on the body Mishka thinks he has. That's what this guy was. Like fucking. Usually, guys with that kind of long, free hair don't worry about fitness.
They don't have to.
Yeah, this guy's he's I don't know if he's a fucking college runner or what, but vicious hill climbing.
That's why I'm digging the bicycle, because I'm learning how to put it in the different gears. So it's still, I'm just loafing even when I'm going up a hill. But then even when I can't do it anymore and I have to get off and push the bike, it's like you're still tricking yourself. Like I'm walking now, I'm walking, but I'm now pushing a fucking object up a hill. So I'm still exercising, even though I think I'm taking a break.
Right.
It's like what Ggreg was saying about getting into pot late in life or whatever is you know, you haven't had a bike that you've been riding for years, right, Chad?
I haven't ridden a bike since I was a kid when I rode a bike everywhere, you know, until I was old enough to drive. And then I have not ridden a bike since. And
maybe the whole thing with life is wrong. It's like kids get to, you know, you're going to learn to ride a bike and all that shit. It should be something you don't do till you're like 40 something. And it's like thrilling. You blow through a lot of fun shit when you're young that you don't even remember it. But if you're, you know, like 75 getting ready to roller skate down a hill for the first time.
Or like snowboarding was like that. It was you could definitely go faster on skis. And I grew up skiing, but then later in life, when I got to snowboarding, it wasn't as fast, but man, it certainly felt dangerous. And it was starting all over again. So I mean, it could be the same with biking now, Andy. You just have to be very
well, there's
careful
plenty of shit, you know. Those guys who jump off of cliffs in them suits, that's one I would try first. It's like there's no fucking way this is gonna work. But
you're talking about those Red Bull squirrel suits?
Wingsuit.
Camera on my head, garbage bags on my arms.
I think the good thing about that one though is you'd panic. You're like, and you would immediately go into the right position just from being shitless.
Yeah, just if you had one of them suits and you just were like following a line of dudes who jumped off and you're like, shit, I don't have any idea how to do this, but I'm gonna try to copy them. learn as I go, I guess.
It came with instructions, but I didn't read them.
Yeah. Figure, fuck those directions, man. They don't take it. They don't take.
How hard could it be?
Oh, I thought he had a Nixon mask on, but
I think that's like a duct tape wingsuit, though, isn't it?
I think it's a kite that he like sewed onto a sweatshirt.
I saw a video of one of those wingsuit guys buzzing some other guys on a cliff top, and it sounded like a jet fly.
Yeah,
like unbelievable. Oh, that's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah, because of the footage, you don't really see how fast they're going until they get down really close to like the treetops or something. And it's like, man, you're fucked. If you even touch something, you're into a death roll, you know?
Yeah.
And you're going like 50, 60 miles an hour, like jumping out of a car.
I feel like it's even like, if you even think about what you're doing for a second, you'll wipe out. Like if you even allow yourself to think about what's happening, the magic will be gone and you will crash right into the side of a mountain.
That happens to me when I drive too high sometimes, dude. Like, what are you doing right now? You don't fucking.
That's why I was scared to talk to my dog when I got back. They'd come off a traumatic situation.
Yeah, they control us. It's like
in a Prius,
an arm. You're like a flying whatever. How fast do they go? Like 60 miles an hour at least.
Oh, at least.
Flying by a rock and you're controlled by, flinching involuntarily. Be like, oh goddamn, my back itches.
Sciatica. The sciatica pain.
Oh, did I pull a muscle? Shit.
He died of a cramp? How did that happen? Hold on, let me tell you the whole story.
Yeah.
So it says here, on first thing that came up on Wikipedia is or on Google was the descent rate is as low as 25 miles an hour, but the horizontal speed 220.
Oh my God.
They've got different different kinds of suits. So you'd be in one of the suits that was made for distance or speed. 220, what the fuck?
That video that I saw, Chaille, like there was a cliff up here where the guys were jumping off of, and then there was a cliff where they were filming that they were zooming by, but they were still had a ways to go. So they were going at like top speed.
Fuck that.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
How did they land? Do they
have parachutes?
Parachute eventually?
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
That's on my bucket list.
Yeah. Make it last.
Yeah, that's it. That's
make it the last thing.
That's how I think that, like people who are terminally ill and stuff, it's like just put them in a windsuit and shove them off the cliff. It's like it's fucking way cooler way. To go
There's other ways that are
That's
probably a little
fair.
bit less messy.
Well, and
but you don't have to. It's like people who die on Everest. You just leave them there. You basically, you know, the windsuit is the coffin, and you're just letting them go.
It's not everybody that needs to die wants to go like that, though. Like I'd rather not be here than be here most of the time, but that doesn't mean I want to go like that. I have
Into the
no
rocks.
fucking desire for adventure at all. I just want it to be
Smash
like
cut to
fucking out,
Andy
man.
pulling the straps on a wingsuit for Chad.
Adventureland retirement
Just shoot
home.
me.
Nobody,
come on,
ever
Chad. This would
stayed.
be great.
Yeah. Before you,
Yeah, that's
you
what
get
it would
in
be.
the,
You
yeah,
just-
get in the
you-
windsuit and sign over your estate.
Yeah, you get the wingsuit on Chad, and as soon as he starts running for the cliff, you just shoot him. Trust me, he would have. He wanted.
He would want it that way.
Yeah. He didn't want to see it coming, and that was the perfect time. Oh fuck! No
Yeah.
way, man.
Oh man. Clean my pipes. I'm ready to, you know, embrace whatever they tell me tomorrow, but it has cost me a lot of weed to get to that point. Like they could have told me on Friday and I would have saved a quarter of weed.
Wait, what do you got going on tomorrow?
My doctor's appointment where they'll tell me what the C scan showed.
Oh.
And they did the test on like last week, and then I thought they'd call on Friday, but they did not. And I have an appointment on Tuesday, so
Right on.
went through the
Probably
weekend.
just because you're a clean bill and you're on a lower priority, right? They had to call people. that
Right.
were important.
Again, I
You
tried
wait
to
for
read
your
the
appointment to
face of
find
the.
out you're healthy.
Yeah, tried to read the face of the tech as I do, and I was like looking through the glass to see if she, you know, felt any sadness, and then she turned her head.
Andy
She
and his
turned her
tea
head.
leaves to find out if he's got cancer.
Well, it's
Clutched
like-
your heart.
Well, I mean, you know, they're used to it too, but you'd be like, you know, I'm looking for like, or you know, something.
Yeah, it's
Like she's
oh.
racing to tell you something, but then
No,
she'll
she's
wait.
not going to tell me, but just like, you know, like I'm so riddled with cancer. She ain't seen it, you know, like a
Uh-huh.
reaction video. Like it'd be like, you know, I would rather see two black teenagers in the background going, whoa.
They're looking at your MRI like they're listening to Phil Collins for the
Yeah.
first time.
For the first time in the air tonight.
Oh shit. Yeah. But she did not get, I got less out of her than I got out of the parking attendant because I'd lost my ticket. I had to sit there and wait. And then he goes, next time, try to hold on to your, of course, that's the goal. Of
Yeah.
course.
So you should read into that then. There is going to be a next time. According to the parking lot guy,
Well,
it's all good.
meaning-
You're going to be
fine.
back. You'll be back.
meaning,
again someday.
well, but yeah, more scans and more or whatever.
Well, but that's
uh,
good.
But yeah, it's like that. I don't understand why people do those kind of lectures. Like, hey, next time, you know, you're cutting it here, you know. So next time, yeah, of course, you know that it's always
Wait,
the
did
goal.
he let you go without paying?
Yeah, but
Okay, so that's why you lost your ticket on purpose.
I just want the gate open, and I have I couldn't think of the I had the a validated one they gave me, but I didn't have the original ticket, and I kept trying to scan the other one, and it didn't work, and there was a line building behind me.
Sure.
You know, and I don't care. I'm trying to be
Wait,
more
they gave-
zen.
So you lost they gave you
lost,
a
yeah.
validated ticket and that didn't work.
Well, I still have the ticket. I go to get in, and then that I'm supposed to keep that, and then I scan that, and then I scan the other one that's thing, but it's fucking free anyway.
You
You
can
know?
keep 2 tickets.
Yeah. It's,
Once
well,
again, Andy, I don't think you're
and I-
following the
but
rules.
here's what it's aggravating is to lose something and then like look through all your pockets and look everywhere, and then when you're not looking for it, it's just sitting right there or whatever.
Where was it?
It's behind, just sitting on a center thing, just slightly behind my vision angle. I could have
Oh,
found
so
it
if you
by-
would have turned your head, you would have seen it.
and I looked in my pockets where that's where I thought it should have been, and then but it's like
See, what you do with your
a lot of
parking,
pressure.
any parking ticket that you get that you have to keep, you put in your wallet right where you're in with your debit card. Goes right in there. You always know it's there. always get your wallet with you.
And then you don't have to run to the car to go pay when you.
Right. It's right here.
It's down
Always
by
right
the
there.
elevators or the stairs.
Develop
Yeah.
a system where it goes in the same place every time, so you know it's there.
You know how
I don't
many
even-
times I've listened to Erickson give Andy the same speech?
Just different nouns.
Yeah.
Next time, what you want to do?
Verbatim,
Right.
verbatim speech.
Uh-huh. It's like there's a like a ski thing where they go, I don't think they have them as much anymore, but a gate or whatever. And then I got it and they got halfway tangled up and they go, next time, you didn't, like I didn't learn by having the gate, close up and catch me in the balls.
Are you
and
talking about when you get on the lift and the thing comes down? I've lost
no,
it.
when
I know what you're talking about.
No, before you get on the lift, and some of them would have like a fucking revolving gate, kind of a thing. So you'd have to show them your thing, or you'd scan it, and then the gate would open. But I scan it, and then I didn't step through quick enough, or whatever, or whatever. It's
He's
stupid.
on mushrooms and weed, and he's
No, this was before
Yeah.
that. I don't think no, because that's how I was able to get extra allotment of skiing. Is I didn't have to go through gates. I would let them look at the thing that I had on there that I didn't really show them. It's like a little twisted magic. You see it now, you don't.
Wait, your lift ticket?
Yeah, they didn't like those places that I go to. They used to have the gate, and now it was just replaced by a human eye.
Did it go through a
Oh,
turnstile on skis?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's stupid as fuck. Some places had that, and I get caught up on those all the time because I'm inattentive, and the gate would open, and I didn't get looking at something else all of a sudden, and then you try to get through the gate, and it catches you.
oh my god!
And then they'd come and give you a lecture like, hey man, you see, it's like if you fell getting off an escalator and then there was somebody going, next time you want to step a little bit higher or whatever.
You say that these lectures are pointless, but yet you keep receiving them.
But okay, here's one, for instance, like in
The three of us don't have any of these stories.
You hear that thing when you go on a walking escalator at the airport, or prepare to, and I oftentimes I hear you, and then I get into the rhythm. I keep saying the same shit and then forgetting what he's saying, and then it catches me off guard. Oh, prepare to unload. I get it. It's hard to, I'm growing into the TikTok generation. I can't focus very long, and
I've
never
I
heard
learned
of
more from
somebody
a TikTok video about ham than I've ever learned in a lifetime of eating ham.
Are you on
casually.
TikTok now, Andy?
What?
Are you on
Can't hear
TikTok now? Are
Shit.
you?
Hang on.
Uh-oh.
We got an issue.
Hello?
Andy, can you hear us?
Are you there?
Oh,
We,
it's not a Nintendo cartridge.
or a pipe?
You guys aren't making noise.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
making noise, Andy. What do I
You
need?
think
A cowbell? Do I need to
we're
shake a
doing a-
cowbell?
I think we're pranking him.
God.
He needs to lick it.
There. Oh,
Wait,
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
Hello.
your default speaker has changed to headphones. Okay. All right. We're back.
That's good.
I'm
Nice.
back.
What did you plug
I'm
into?
back.
Did you plug into the microphone, the back of the microphone?
It just cut out. It just stopped. So I couldn't hear it. And I blew on it.
Yeah, we saw
But
that.
I blew on it twice.
Yeah, we saw that.
The first time it didn't work, but the second time, that's why I
Oh,
don't
it
pay
did work.
attention to
Okay.
directions. Like
Yeah.
if Fonzie were trying to get a jukebox to turn on, it would tell him to put a quarter in it or a nickel, I guess, at the time.
Yeah. So you think you're Fonzie?
I'm just saying, Fonzie, yeah,
The Fonzie of YouTube.
Yeah.
he used his fucking bathroom as his office.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, the Fonz
Oh,
didn't
he
find
used Arnold's bathroom.
right.
Yeah,
people,
that's not.
you know, I wonder if Bonzi would have beat the shit out of you if you took a shit in there. Because he was a hood. He was a cool hood, but he, you know, you can't be shitting in Fonzie's
I think
office.
that's a real Potsy move, taking a shit and Fonzie
Yeah.
after them.
Well, I
I
mean,
remember-
while he's having a meeting, maybe,
Yeah.
but I mean, Fonzie knows people got a shit in there.
Yeah.
Maybe not
I think
Mr.
you're safe during the day because I don't think Fonzie hung out there during the day.
Maybe Mr. Miyagi wouldn't have stunk it up, but the original Arnold, or
Oh,
no,
Fat
was
Arnold.
Mr. Miyagi was the original, right?
Yeah.
Then he
was,
went off to teach Daniel
Pat
some
Morita.
karate. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was. Yeah, and then they sold it to
Then it was
man,
Al.
Al with the big nose and the yep. And
Yeah,
I liked him. He was a great. He was a great character actor, and he may have done more than that. But what did I see? I saw a fucking no, it was a no smoking ad, and it had the Cunninghams on it, and they were in the Brady Bunch house. And this is all true. I saw yeah, somebody posted a picture of the Brady Bunch house, and then below that somebody posted that little ad, and it was a I believe it was a no smoking thing. And the Cunninghams in the Brady house. I'm like, man, my mind is blown. But then it's like, wait, it's probably just next door to it on the studio, so it's not really that mind blowing.
Well, the Brady Bunch house was a house in a neighborhood for the exterior shots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you imagine the Brady's doing a AIDS ad in the Happy Day Happy Day family house? That's not fair.
Fuck.
But I don't think, did he die of AIDS? I
Yes.
think he did die of AIDS
Dad,
officially. Yeah. But you know, America's dad.
Here's the PSA. Andy.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Let's call it quits. It's Mr. C, but they are definitely in the Brady Bunch house or the set. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's call it quits.
And I think he was a smoker. I think he was like one of them hypocrites. You take the money. Like if I were to do a no pot smoking thing, I'd be like, man, this shit is garbage. And then I'll be hanging out with Snoop and Willie. Shit, I love this stuff. You think Mr. Pillow uses his own shit? I did the first. I could show you. It's early harvest, but it's not nearly as good as it. This looks good, right?
Look so bad.
It's better than Bad Batch, but it's still
Hold it up again.
It's still
Take a look at
procuring.
it. Put it up close to the camera.
It's kind of
Gotta hold
wiry.
it kind of still.
What are you doing? Cinema Verte? You're getting all fucking
He doesn't
artsy.
want my criticism.
Oh no, it ain't.
It doesn't look very tight.
Yeah, once
Yeah.
you trim it, there's not gonna be much to it.
tight. Yeah, no, it is. That's why it's the joy of growing. I gotta follow directions, which I've showed in my life. I've never been able to do it.
But I think that's a marked improvement over your last effort. I think that directions are nice, but that's not your thing. But if you keep doing this, you'll learn from your own trial and error.
Well,
And
last
this is what
year,
you do, and you'll get a little better every year. And 10 or 11 years from now, you'll have something approaching smokable.
see, I don't know if I got that kind of time to wait.
You'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah.
We got any.
Right.
Doing
Yeah,
Whether you
I
got a
can tell
fast
you if
track.
I can tell you if he tells me I got cancer, I ain't growing no more weed.
Oh, you trade in all your weed stuff for a wingsuit.
Yeah, wingsuit and some heroin, and I can do needles myself, so I don't even need to hire another. I actually though I would, because I've never done the vein tapping.
Yeah. you're
It's
just
one thing to
injecting
inject
weed.
yourself in the belly, but if
Right.
you're going to do heroin, you're going to want to get it in someplace good
Yeah.
before you go wingsuiting off of a bridge in rush hour traffic. Golden Gate. That'd be that'd be good. It's hard to get to the top of the, I'm sure you'd get stopped before getting up there.
to the top of the Golden Gate Bridge?
Well, yeah, because they tell you not to jump off the lower part, but I doubt there's signs up above that say, hey, if you're having problems, hey, if you've made it to this point, enjoy your trip. You deserve this. You just bought yourself 3 seconds more than the losers that jump below you. There are ways up there, though. I mean, I'm not going.
Well, yeah, they paint it like every
Yeah.
10 years or whatever.
There's
there's
much
those
more
guys that
scenic
climb those
places to
cables.
go. I mean, I figured you'd throw a nature jack in while you're on your wingsuit. You might as well.
Remember,
get a
well,
nice view.
You
Well,
get
there goes
you
the
get part of it
deposit.
cut out. You just get a cutout.
when I went to San Francisco with Rob Loving. Remember Rob Loving?
Oh my God, yeah.
Rob Loving, who we don't even know if we know that's not his real name, and nobody really knew who he really was. But I drove him to Frisco, and my friend gave us box seats to the Giants, and we decided, fuck it, I don't really care to go to, So I decided we'll sell them, and he hopped out with the 2 tickets to sell them, and then I was going to go park the car, and I didn't see him again on that trip. Like he disappeared, and then he made some, like, he called, like, maybe Christine Levine, or he called a couple of people and said, I disappeared in San Francisco. And then I don't know, it was like, I don't know who thought maybe I killed myself in San Francisco, whether he started the rumor or because he said I disappeared and in San Francisco that people thought I've been on the Golden Gate Bridge, and to me that would be like the stupidest suicide. Like, oh yeah, I hear this place is popular for suicide.
Yeah.
It's like if you're going to a romanticized place to kill yourself, you've already missed the point of it. You should have just stayed in your in your garage and brought a fucking hose in there and hooked it to your exhaust and into your window.
Yeah, but how silly would you look sitting in your car with a hose in the window, dead with a wingsuit on?
and a picture.
You realize
of the
you're
Golden
driving
Gate.
a Prius.
Yeah, and you got a Golden Gate Bridge. Yeah, oh man, you couldn't kill yourself in a Prius, right? I mean, you could by driving it into.
It's taking a long time.
Yeah, it's gonna take a while.
Yeah, there's no exhaust coming off of them? Yeah,
Well, I
didn't think about that.
You could
But,
do it.
I'm sure there's my grandpa killed himself with it. Well, he had an overdose of car exhaust while he was in the garage. So I don't know, maybe a suicide or whatever. But eventually, maybe people won't be able to do it that way.
Yeah.
But I think since my grandpa did that, there's probably been a 1,000 new ways to kill yourself that he didn't have as an option.
Was your grandpa suicidal? Was there
He got
with that?
We have a history of overreacting. I don't know if he had a history of it, but he liked to have a good time. And then he had his business partner ripped him off. Like, say he had a money thing,
Yeah.
so but I don't know if he faced that a few times, but that time he did. And that's why my grandma came to live with us eventually. That was part of it, because my dad was set to go to college to go follow his, or actually he was done with college and he wanted to be a geologist, and he had a job offer from some, I don't even know, like a university or something. But that was after he found his dad in that same time frame, and then his mom became a raging drunk, or maybe one event happened a little, but he got this job offer and he knew he couldn't take it because his mom was basically a fall down drunk.
Yeah.
And not handling things well, even though I think anyway, so that led to my grandma being the eccentric, and still she was a wet drunk for years, and then she moved back and started taking wine, and she drank wine, and then she had some embarrassments and a couple of hips later. She only drank cough syrup, but I didn't really, we didn't think she was an alcoholic anymore. But she drank bottle after bottle of cough syrup with alcohol in it.
Man,
So I don't think she
No,
ever
it
really,
didn't. It had codeine in it too.
well,
Yeah.
and she would speak about it at Bible study and stuff, of how she didn't drink any, you know, and she'd give these long,
Teetotaler.
not long spiels because she'd fall asleep a lot. The cough syrup. I remember, I don't even, she'd just have those that were in a bag, and I don't think we even recycled, but there would be like 30 cough syrups, you know. So she was fucking, you know, I'd be, you know, fun to sit with her and drink cough syrup and smoke weed and hear her out. I could go back in time. I'd sit there and go, Grandma, don't hide the cough syrup. Give me one.
Yeah.
What's
Shots.
this fucking, what's this red shit do compared to the green? And that's like half of the crunk, right? What's in crunk?
Codeine and
Oh, well,
like
I
codeine
thought
and
that
cough
was
syrup,
just
and then-
high and drunk.
no, I think there's
They
a
got lean
mixture.
and they've
think about
got
the grape drink. He's thinking about
Yeah, you're
grape
talking
drink.
about scissor.
Yeah.
Scissor.
Scissor.
I think it's Sprite. I think it's
Or
Sprite
lean.
and what did you say, Chad?
It's called lean because you
Lean.
lean after you.
I've been seeing some fucking I guess it's junkies. It's just people like you know, half nodded off or sleeping in positions that you wonder if they're dead or not, you know, around town. So must be some good shit going on. Not good shit. I mean, good bad shit. But you know, if you're that guy who's fucking standing there, fucking staring at that wall with a blanket over him, it's like he's getting a bang for his buck.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of the fentanyls. Like when
Maybe
when a bad batch hit an area, that's what you'd see immediately on the street. You'd see all these people just hunked over and staring at the wall with a blanket.
Yeah,
on their
head asleep with their head on a wall or something like that.
And that's the best part of their day.
It's like
I saw a documentary on fentanyl.
Oh, yeah.
It was fucking scary. And it was just this one gang, the cartel down in Mexico was like, fuck it, let's just make fentanyl. So we'll just make everything that we're going to regularly sell, but we'll just put fentanyl in it instead, because their idea was that when you get heroin or coke or crack or something like that, you might go back and buy 2-3 times a day to feed the habit. But the fentanyl, if you got them, they're buying 6 times a day. So it was a business decision that, and they were doing, but the gangs that they were selling all this shit to didn't believe them about the ratio, because it's so potent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, you got to mix it 50-1. And they're all, fucking no way. So
a bunch of Andes.
Yeah, they would. They go, what did you say? I don't know, 5-1. And then the streets would just be littered with all these people that were just, you know, fucking the latest customers, and they just get fucking whacked. Yeah.
When I was offered fentanyl in the hospital, believe me, it wasn't somebody like me that was administering it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I didn't see somebody who's like, well, let me see those directions. This should do it.
It's a really good drug because it takes the place of morphine. But and a lot of people have had it, especially if you go into doctors like surgery and stuff like that. You've had it, but it's in a controlled situation, not made in some fucking jungle bathtub. And then, you know,
I would never want to take it up the nostril. That's definitely when I was in agony when I had that, and then that it just melted away, and it was like, oh man. I mean, I could see where you'd want to do it, you know, but I, of course, like fucking carefully administered people. Find a fentanyl nurse.
Well, Chaille, I'm glad you told me that, because I have always wondered where the whole fentanyl thing came from.
Yes.
It just didn't make any sense to me that you would cut your drug with another drug.
Why do you want to kill the people that are giving you money?
And why are you cutting your cocaine with it? Cocaine shouldn't. If you're cutting your cocaine, you cut it with cut
downer, right?
Something really cheap and inert.
So they got out of making these other drugs because they found one guy that was not a chemist that figured out how to make fentanyl, And then he made it, and then they just distribute. They go, we'll just be distributing this designer drug that's super easy to make compared to making cocaine or processing.
Fentanyl is
other stuff. Fentanyl is on a scale, because it's so potent. You don't have to have a lot to be able to just spread it out and then mimic these other drugs.
What's the key thing? Is it's not plant based, right?
No, it's synthetic, man.
Oh.
But I'll find that.
Check the link after the show. We'll put the full recipe for the fentanyl in the show link.
Knowledge is power. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Starts with a Mountain Dew bottle, but don't drink all the Mountain Dew. Leave a little bit in the bottom.
Said a little.
I
can't remember what that documentary was, but I'll find it and I'll let you guys know.
Yeah, man.
Crazy.
History. Yeah, fentanyl hasn't been around that long, right? As a thing. Because I don't even remember hearing it as a painkiller option.
I think it's been around for a while,
ago.
but it hasn't jumped into the illicit drug trade.
Yeah, I had it made for a short time, but one for the cancer surgery, as I got they were giving me oxys and some fentanyl, some morphine. And where are they now when I could really enjoy that shit?
Yeah.
Nowhere to be found. They gave me, I think what was it, like 5 oxy? I think I went home with something like that.
How long did those last?
I remember just blasting the last 2. But I wasn't, now I could enjoy it. Back then I was like, really, it was still
you needed them.
I was doing it recreationally, but I needed it medically.
Yeah, you needed it, but you were determined to also enjoy it while
pain relief doesn't have to be a bummer.
No, that's a good idea.
And I only had that. It was
happiness is a choice.
I wonder if they just like, in spite of whatever I told them or whatever, they're like, he's a 5, or the way I used him in the hospital. But I think I opted down from 10s to 5s like right away. Because and my reasoning was, man, I got to get up and move around, or I'm going to just lay here and die. So I mean, I made a business decision to abuse less drugs, but I didn't. I thought, well, can you pinch those other 5? Let's say I'm still doing 10s and give me some to go. Well,
they don't start. You don't start with a total number of drugs, do you? Like, this will give me all, what's my max?
Yeah, Andy worked the system wrong. You put the 10s away and kept acting like you're taking them the whole time when you don't take a half here and there when you need one.
Yeah,
keep all the rest squirreled away. But you're like me, you can't keep them squirreled away.
Could you bring me could you bring me a straw and a pair of scissors?
There's a half a bottle of muscle relaxers is the only drugs left in my house, but that's only because they're in Jenny's name, and she'll never take them, but she saves them until she sees, like, when I'm super fucking agitated and can't sleep or whatever, she'll come and give me one. All right, but I won't touch them because they're hers. But I'm with you. I'll just take them if they're there. I'll take them.
Yeah, and then you just replace them with mints.
You're in pain, but you got fresh breath.
That's what they didn't. I didn't even say at the hospital and why they probably gave me 5 oxys. Is they just, that's probably more than enough. I'm coming back from major. I mean, that's a major surgery. Like he gave me less than a fucking hillbilly in Kentucky gets for a rotted tooth. But because people abuse it or whatever, that I could have used 10. I could have said, well, here's, I gave you 20, says you're going to Death Valley. But I wouldn't want to be one of those people chasing those neither. But
No.
the oxy, almost any drug I've abused is it's always good that I don't really have a supply of it.
Definitely.
You see me do drugs, like, good thing this guy doesn't know somebody with coke near his house. He'd be a fucking asshole. I'd definitely have a lot more nosebleeds. You saw, me and Chad were both
thing here, man.
me and Chad were both pretty beat up by our experience up there in Alaska. You know,
The same thing. The VA won't give me any pills because of my chronic weed use, and I'm super grateful, because then if I just had a free supply of fucking pills pouring in, I'd have a pill problem.
Yeah, problem.
most of the people who I actually know this guy who sells cocaine in town here. He's fat and sweats profusely, and he always repeat. He knew me years ago. He lived with his family in a double wide kind of a manufactured trailer behind my beautiful little cottage house with a garden, and these assholes would throw shit over the fence. So I used to throw shit back over the fence and yell at them through like what some people would determine as a glory hole, but it wasn't a glory hole. It was just an angry hole.
Andy, were they in that lot next to your house?
Behind it. It was actually well, they built on my property. That's where and then beside it. No, this one was.
I mean, how did they get close to your house? I mean,
they were at the very back of my property, whereas all the building and stuff was alongside it, and so they were. I think that same little shitty house is still probably an eyesore to. I appreciate them now that they're an eyesore to others, but back then I was the only one bothered by them. It's like, hey, motherfucker, this ain't the dump over here. I would yell shit like that. Or I would hear them out there. They would be on their fucking, they had a trampoline without any, I'd see their fucking heads. Hey, mother.
Wait, they're coked up and they're trampolining?
Well, no, I don't think
Crash coming over. He was just arcing over.
At that point, he was just a fat at-risk kid. And he wasn't selling drugs that I know of back then, but they would throw bottles of, like, I go, you throw your fucking garbage over here. You can see that you see anywhere here that has fucking a place for you to throw your bottles, assholes, that bounce back, nod or whatever. Blame it on, one of them would blame it on the other, whatever. And so, yeah, I know this guy, and I've been over to his place every time I'm around him. It's like the same fucking says the same shit about how I was nice to him when at this one night comedy venue, and I let him hang out and smoke. I don't remember. I didn't connect the dots as to who it was at the time, because this was years later. I ran into him, and then I was apparently nice to this guy and let him hang out and smoke weed and stuff. But if I would have known it was that fat kid that was back there throwing shit over my fence, I definitely would have, He didn't remind me that time. But then after that, he'd go, yeah, you remember I used to live behind you for a while? I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that fucking summer, picking up all that shit. I'd throw my dog shit over there. That's how I'd retaliate. That's the kind of neighbor.
So it was back and forth. At least it wasn't one-sided.
Well, I don't think it was. But it was like a hoarding situation. So I wasn't doing anything but redecorating.
They didn't even notice the dog
shit.
No.
I'm sure it wouldn't. Like if I had hazardous chemicals, I would sneak into their yard and just put them over there. Because it's like they have a whole section of, paint cans and shit, and gasoline that leaked out of the lawnmower, and they poured it in a jar. That's like it was fucking white. They were, I don't know, they were, I guess, a mixture of Hawaiian. I was going to say white.
They were Pacific Islander.
They were white people that used to live in Hawaii, and they called themselves Hawaiian.
Oh, that's not Pacific Islander.
Yeah, they weren't Hawaiians at all. Maybe because you got all those shirts and you listen to that music loud, it doesn't make you that. But yeah.
Yeah, the dude wasn't Hawaiian.
When I had talks with that guy about shit, he would call me brah. We're both white fellas here, brother. A couple of times we met, and we had a mutual falling out with this old man, so that was one time we bonded together. I had to go back and tear a fence. Part of this old man accused me of building on his property it was a miscalculation by like a foot, and he went on and I
yeah, that's exactly what building on someone's land is. Yeah. That is the definition of building on someone's land.
he's the motherfucker too that sold all that property that became the big fucking thing. And he used to be okay. He was from Texas, and he'd sit on his tractor, and he tilled my garden for years. But man, and then he started getting a real. I think he got fucking twisted as an older. He was like a former military, like admiral or something. He had a high ranking, and he was a nice, respectable old man. Then he got fucking,
Then I built some shit on his property.
Yeah,
all of a sudden,
he got all fucking defensive about that shit. But it wasn't like, I think he, like me and my brother, we're smoking hash, man. You're lucky. You're lucky. It's only a foot. We didn't build a pier over there. He snapped, and that was like the first time I saw this guy. I was like, man, I'll still let him till my garden and all, but fuck him. And then not long after that, we went over to with my daughter. I went over she was selling cookie dough, and we'd give him Christmas cookies. Him and his wife, Vince, rest his soul. He's dead now, but Vince, he like, my daughter knocked on the door. Easy sale, right? Selling cookie dough for the school. I don't like cookies, Vince says to my kid, like real mean. Like don't you know who this, like he always waved to her and was friendly and shit, and he yelled at her. So he got fucking more twisted as an old man. But my daughter, I was really proud of her. She said, "Oh, that guy is so off our Christmas cookie list." Because he just screamed at her that he didn't like cookies, and she didn't cry or anything. She just took him off the cookie list. Like, fuck that guy.
Put him on the kick his pumpkin list.
Yep.
Yeah, I would have, if he would have put out a pumpkin. But he owned a big swath of property, and then when Vince he rode his tractor over there, and he goes, "Oh, by the way, I sold all this property." Like, what am I didn't have any right to it or whatever, but it was like, oh fuck. And then but then I thought this guy died. So many years later, I don't know, at least 5-10, a long time later, I ran into this guy at Safeway, and I went, whoa. I saw him and I walked up on him thinking that looks a lot like Vince, and he turned around and he goes, "Hi," and like, how the fuck is this guy still alive? So he must have lived to be like 96 or 9. I mean, he was fucking old and like lost his mind, but he was still around. I moved away or something, and I ran into him years later, and it was like fucking scary. Like, holy shit, God keeps some of us around forever. He's funny that way.
Ain't it the truth?
Man, all right, we're about to get swept up in religion here. We may try to ignore politics, but we're gonna have a fucking Jesus freak shooting up some shit for a while. It's a cross between white nationalists and Jesus freaks and people who get way too excited at fucking carnival acts and monster truck enthusiasts, and they're gonna be fucking really they're really. I listened to this. It was David Korn, this author. He wrote a book, and it's said about it uses a term that apparently offended a lot of people on the right. But he had a equal call-in. Republicans call in on the line, Democrats and conservatives, and man, the shaky voices and the collars of the people that they called people on the left snowflakes. It's like, I was over, Clinton, when Bush won a second time, I was over that pretty guy. I got to say, I was hoping Kerry won, but when John Kerry didn't win, I was over it. Like probably that day or whatever. Like this other guy said, whatever. But man, these people are still fucking. Trump won the election, and you watch your dirty. This guy was just real, real calm, and they did a good thing where they would let him say enough, and then they would cut him off. But they were, man, like, just chill, man. You'll get the vote again. It just sounded like a lot. If those were my neighbors, I would be like, I got to get a firearm, and maybe some of them are or whatever. But it's like, if you lived in an area with a lot of those people, I think you want to stay armed for your own protection.
Yeah.
It's like wrestling fans who saw their favorite wrestler get hit over the head with a chair, and god damn it, they think their neighbor Larry had something to do with it. They're gonna go fucking pay Larry a visit late at night, and Larry's just fucking at his place eating cheese balls, and he don't even know they're coming for him. That's how this thing's gonna go. It's just a lot of fucking really pissed off people that you can't reason with. There's like could I explain some fact? Well, no, all that's okay, whatever, man. They're like, it's I don't know how much of it there is of it, but it's like they need to really like somebody like really could just be funny and tell them what dicks they are, so they see it themselves. Go, oh wait,
it'll never happen.
We do have 30 flags on our boat. That's us.
Yeah,
we're the dicks. really, no anger. Just have a laugh at yourself. I mean, I hope there's a time where folks who are swept up in this circus carnival barking bullshit or whatever, that you can go look back and go, well, remember when we had a family that loved us? We sure blew that all up. We were really wrong about a lot of that stuff, but boy, they won't talk to us after the way we acted. But oh well, you just gotta laugh it off.
The generous fucking perspective, Andy. I like that.
Yeah, I'm trying to see it from their direction, but it's like, it's like the guy who floated himself up in a balloon with his lawn chair. It's like, maybe you see it as a thing, but everybody else thinks it's pretty fucked up. I know you're hanging out with balloon enthusiasts, but
you might think you're an astronaut, but
well, in most of these cases, you'd be like, remember that other thing that when you look back on it, you cringe and go, fuck, that was me. I did that. This is another one of those things. You did it again. You've already done this before. Now you did it again.
Let's just go back. Let's just go back to the way
you're
we
a mark.
Jesus,
and you don't realize it.
Yeah, there's no falling back when she goes like, like you can't go back. Let's just go back to being Christians and tithing and not being mouthy assholes. Can we go back to that time about, can we not, remember when we didn't really talk about politics that much, and now we have Fox News all the time and we're fucking arguing with people about shit, and we're keeping our kids home from school. Remember, could we just go back to just being fucking douchebags who went in once a week and acted superior to people and then went and got a nice feed on at the Cracker Barrel?
Yeah, it used to be that you'd look at old pictures of yourself and it was just a bad haircut.
Yeah,
now it's a bad haircut and trying to overthrow democracy.
Yeah, have you noticed, like, none of them are, they don't, that's the thing, it's like, that's what I was saying and listening to them, it's like none of them have a funny take on it, and Kennedy's coming back. I mean, it's they're saying this shit and they're fucking not having a good time with it. Michael Landon's coming back and he's bringing Mr. Edwards with him, and they're going to run for office. No, come on. No, that one I made up, but no, Kennedy's coming back. But they don't, there's no, they're, that's why I mean, liberals might be cocks and snowflakes and everything, but they sure can laugh at their misery now and again or whatever. But these, once you're so fucking into the Jesus stuff, I think you're fucking, I don't know. It's something that it's a mixture of what it is. It's like, I mean, the Ku Klux Klan was always tied in with religion, but it's just like, it's like when my brother Larry was born again, and he would try to talk about the Bible, and he'd have, he'd lace it with bad, like, fucking, he didn't remember, but he would try to give you some synopsis of, it's like, that's why I knew, like, Larry's
but he'd be cursing like a sailor.
Yeah.
Talking about scripture.
Jesus,
pretty much. Yeah. Like, like if
going through grandma's purse.
Yeah, JB Smooth were good, reading the Old Testament or whatever. And the motherfucking begats.
Reading the New Testament.
But Larry, he just was, he was. I didn't realize it. Like right now, Larry's level of intelligence and his understanding of the Bible would fit right into a big mainstream movement. He wouldn't feel like somebody who was not smart at the church. He would feel like he was, like he was.
The shit you're talking about is wild. And there's I saw a preview of, I think it's a Frontline, Pete, which is the great. If you guys don't watch Frontline, you should watch the Frontline documentaries.
I watched that one.
Those things are fucking awesome. They're so well done, so well researched and put together. But there's one coming out in October about Mike Flynn, who was the craziest one of all the people in Trump's orbit, and is really into this, like Christian nationalist.
Yeah, and then that's what they do at those rallies too, is they have books and stuff, and they're like, so they're building a fucking army of people who are fucking pushing, it's an interesting thing to see, but it's like what's the end game of this shit? What are they going to do at the end of it? It's like a suicide cult that's going to take it out on bystanders. Like Jim Jones going, before you drink the Kool-Aid, I want you to turn your rifle on the, they didn't have anybody around them or whatever, but before you do your Kool-Aid, please stab somebody. They might be dying, but just put a knife in them, get the feel for it or whatever. But it's a kind of like a suicide weaponized suicide cult. It's gonna explode at various places coming up fairly soon, because
there's nobody more dangerous than somebody who thinks they've got God on their side.
I'll tell you what, if you,
you're ordained to do anything. There's nothing you can do that's immoral, because God's on your side. So it's all fair.
And I'll tell you, I don't know what'll happen at like the election or whatever, but if it's a blue wave, I wouldn't be at the celebrating parties. Like, hey, all right, we won, man. As Democrats, we're in charge of shit, and they're gonna just have to take it. Oh, what's this guy coming? What's he getting out of his back?
Probably coming up here to apologize and shake.
This guy, he's pulling out a Bible. Oh, cool. Relax, everybody. No, it's a bomb. Run. Exploding Jesus freaks. That's what we got to look forward to. A water supply.
They would suicide bomb. That would.
I know. Oh, I know. I was thinking of that. Like, I know those Trump rallies are overhyped and stuff. But do you see the audience? It's like they use these small facilities, and it's really a small group. But if they all just did drink Kool-Aid, at all those events, if they drank Kool-Aid and died, and every day you'd see like, oh man, a whole nother group of them went down. And like, oh wow. You know what? There's no racism anymore. There's no religion. And a lot of the big fat people are gone too, just by coincidence.
Erickson, I think that show's called DC Insider to Holy Warrior.
Yeah.
Michael Flynn, DC Insider to Holy Warrior.
Yeah. And the one you have behind you, I recommended to Andy. I watched it a couple weeks ago. It's really, really
good.
I
saw that one too. Jesus, I told you how I ran out on the muscle heads doing their over the top altar call religion thing, but religion scares me, as that's what I was like. My brother, one of my brothers, got into this super evangelical shit, and they were like this guy. This one brother went to Bible college. Couple of different Bible entities or whatever they were, and he brought home this guy who was Sri Lankan, and
Sri
Lankan. He tried to he just
wait. Say it again.
Look, man, I don't want to disparage his island or whatever. He was from Sri Lanka. And
Andy, how do you say the letters SRI?
SRI?
SRI. How would you say that?
Siri? Anyway.
Siri.
Okay, this guy was from India.
And, where in India?
And they
Andy's phone keeps Google
Bangladesh.
searching Lanka, Sri Lanka.
in
Lanka.
Bangladesh.
Here's the results for Lanka.
Anyway, he came back from this Bible school, and then this guy just like lived at our place for a while. But one day I was downstairs and I could hear him at John. Well, John's outed, and then this guy from India, and they were speaking, they were babbling in my room. I thought they were butt fucking, quite honestly. And they were praying. If they were praying, I don't know if it was his language or they were speaking in tongues. But it was possible they were doing all three. But I didn't like the idea of that shit. And then that was like, I think evangelicism or whatever, jism. I think it was growing at that time.
Yeah.
That's when I went to a Jesus Northwest in that thing, and I had the Born Again shirt and stuff, and it was a big movement. And then when I saw it that one time when I saw they were both lying, and then but it just scared me. It was over the top emotional shit before I even found out they were lying. And I still feel that intimidation factor by an organized pack of Christians, because they're like, there's a power in their oratory or whatever, and they're like, and I want you to do this, and then it's like, holy shit, man, people are fucking buying this shit. And then to see like a stadium full of those fucks and they're talking violence, it's like, I think we better at least pay attention to this shit, because we may want to get the upper hand on these cunts. But yeah, I feel like that's something like a drumbeat. That the Flynn thing is for sure. They control.
I can't wait to see that thing. That guy's out of his fucking mind.
What if what guys? I know I don't look at all this stuff as much as you guys, but what if it shakes out to be that those people are like the majority? So like they'll win all of the elections,
Well,
and they do
thing,
like that is the more
scary.
people believe in that ridiculous fucking bullshit than are rational human beings. And
what do we stop dropping people, or we get on YouTube
right?
and it's like, shut your socialist mouths, you dogs. You guys should be burnt. I'm turning you guys into Trump.
Is why you should vote and follow politics. So these fucking assholes don't end up in charge because you didn't think
if they're the majority, it's not going to matter. That's how it works.
But see, that's
Chaille will be able.
They don't have
to be able to do.
The only other people interested in running against them are complete assholes of a different kind, and I don't care which asshole it is.
Well, you might.
I'll change my grift. That's all that'll happen.
Yeah, could you imagine living in a land dominated by Christians? You could scam them all the time.
Yes.
Like, hey, we're going to go build that wall. Donate. I don't know. Chad's trying to see a different side of it. But I think a fucking Christian fascist government would suck balls, and it would be,
I think it would be
pretty hard.
horrible. And
how many apps would you have to download?
The truth is they don't need to be the majority. And that's the problem. Because they can set it up where they can be a ruling minority, which is partly how they have it already.
Well, it's kind of the way the gerrymandering's
exactly.
Out. Yeah.
So
you
got to pay attention.
So there's nothing really you can do about it. And
Chaille would
live your life.
Chaille would
or
adjust.
Imagine dying and you're like, "Fuck! I should have cared about politics more." I don't think that's the thing that happens.
I mean, I think you can make a difference.
Think about the.
Hey, be careful with idealism, man. I was there one time. Your next step is nihilism.
What do they call those haunted houses that Christians put together, like Faith House?
They're what do they call it? They were really popular a couple of years ago, where they show they have a rape scene and
somebody getting a heroin needle,
someone getting an abortion.
Parents are like, why? Like Chaille could just do props for those. Figure out a Bible theme to it. Yeah, Shank can come out of the thing shaking a Bible. You don't know the word of God, you're going to burn in hell. that would freak me out way more than if you had clowns and Jesus
clown with
freaks.
a chainsaw.
Yeah,
you will listen.
They should incorporate houses. Hopefully, regular haunted houses incorporate like a Jesus freak room. like, oh, this room's full of these guys are trying to break in the Capitol. That's just, the fucking
This is the Oath Keepers room.
yeah. That's but yeah, Christians and clowns are both things that trigger me emotionally, like, saying like I can't listen to intense preaching or clowns really. I mean, fortunately they don't do a lot of talking. There are chatty clowns, huh?
I suppose so.
So Andy, those places are called hell houses.
Yeah,
there's a really
hell
good
houses.
documentary on them, and they're religious based. And a funny story about those is they have a casting call for those every year, and these are all kids that are like in Bible school together and stuff like that, and they all want to be the DJ in the rave room, because they all get to pretend like they're at a rave for the haunted house. And then it's like no one wants to be the abortion girl, but they all want to be the raver and the DJ or dancing in a cage or something like that. And they're all just really just parroting those things that they see or that they're told to be afraid of.
Yeah.
I bet the abortion girl's fun if they let her go to the DJ room after her shift. Oh man, I need to unwind. Give me some. I wonder if they drug test him. Like, this guy's really good at playing the heroin addict. I don't know what's going on with him. Is he a method actor? He brings his own shit in. He brings his own syringes. So, but yeah, I know.
Yeah, you exit the haunt. You exit the haunt a little different than the regular haunt for money, where you exit into like a gift shop.
Probably pray.
You exit into a Bible. There's 2 doors. One is a Bible study, and then the other
would be where I'm like, whoa, okay, and I'd run down the street. Altar calls always freak me out, and I'd find them fascinating. Billy Graham I think that was Billy Graham's closer, right? The altar call. They play Just As I Am. And then there would be like just people in the audience, and then they'd get up and then they'd go up and forward, and there was a weepy thing or whatever. But it's like, that always freaked me out. It was like, I don't know why, but I guess I probably went to, I know I gave my life to Jesus at least 2 or 3 times.
You kept giving it back.
Yeah. And I'd go home and jerk off watching The Love Boat, and I'd be back next Sunday. God damn it. I'll get the hang of it next time. But there would be like special guests. I don't know if it must have been when I went to the Foursquare stuff, because I don't remember altar calls.
Those were a little hipper, weren't they? The Foursquare churches.
Yeah,
like a rock band and stuff.
They talked in tongue a lot though, where I was from, and they
Foursquare and
they
Assembly
were
of
very
Gods.
aggressive. There was we had a giant old Foursquare church right next to our high school when I went to high school, so there was a bit of conflict there almost daily.
I wish churches would fight, or like churches in a town.
Oh, they do.
Like the Baptists, but just Baptists would go show up at a Nazarene potluck and tip over shit.
Tip over shit.
Like the Greases and the Socias and the Outsiders.
Yeah. They're all just living fat off the tax-free status. And it's like you looked at other, people that are grifting, and you're like, all right, man, it's all about your own grift. And whatever my church's affiliation was, a weak grift, we were like, we got guys who couldn't make the Nazarene circuit. Church of God. I guess we were Pentecostal, but it wasn't like a Pentecostal church at all. But it's just like a collective of old pathetic people, and I don't get why they all came together. Where it just seemed like it didn't really have a thing. And then we had a couple long-term preachers, and then they left, and then it was like open mic preachers, grifters. They'd come and rip us off, or that's when I should have really been paying attention. But at church and shit, it's like, because this guy's straight up fucking, he's here to rip us off. That's what he's here for. I should learn from him. That other guy choked me. What did he have to, he taught me to listen to him. He didn't teach me.
Just think how just a slight difference in your life, and you could have been a preacher instead of a comic.
I didn't. Yeah, there wasn't a good role model.
In line between the two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went from like weird religion where it wasn't even religion, just old people that would go have potluck together and talk about it wasn't fanatical at all, I don't think.
Yeah.
And then we go home and that was it. But I don't think it was really. I think it was like easy back then. You go to church once a week and you're going to go to heaven. And like evangelicals, or I don't know, it's more cult like than it used to be, because they have to meet together like way more, spend more energy, time, give more, all that shit. It used to be just show up and give collective plate money, which wasn't much for.
It all started when they said that you have to accept Christ as your personal savior. That was the first shoe to drop, right? Like it used to be, you just had to believe. You just said if you believe, that was enough. But then they said, no, it's not enough. You have to accept Christ as your personal savior. Like you had to say those words. Yeah. And then once it was those words, then it was like, well, we got him to say those words. Let's get him to do all this other crazy shit. And they just kept upping the ante.
Just chipping away.
Yeah. If it was a specific those words, you're right.
Yeah.
But you say that pledge, but if you didn't get baptized, I'm sorry, you won't be allowed in, brother.
Sorry.
I got baptized in a river and you cannot take that back. And that cleansed me of all the sins I committed up to age 7. so really a couple of shoplifting violations were a sponge.
Yeah, you were just getting started.
yeah turns out I should have held off a while to confess up shit.
You could have used the community college baptism for sure.
Like, I'd still be holding off on it even though I had cancer. I'd still be like, let's give it another couple of months. Let's see how this goes. On my deathbed, I'm like, take me to a river. I'd still want to see all the pamphlets and stuff, see what heaven, what section of heaven. I like heaven. This doesn't feel like heaven. Is this Flint, Michigan?
Why is the water
I've been here
brown?
before.
How come no one's drinking out of the tap?
Yeah, this looks a lot like Flint. Yeah, well, you were assigned to Flint heaven.
Yeah, you got Camp
You find
Lejeune.
out there's levels of heaven. Yeah.
Turns out you were babtized
You
in
didn't
Camp
score
Lejeune.
real high, dude.
I was baptized behind Camp Lejeune. I do remember.
Bad
I
water.
do now. Yeah.
All right, let's
Just
get outta
missed
here.
your class action payment. Sorry, sir, but welcome to bad water heaven.
Yeah. I just need a picture of Photoshop my infant self being held by a military guy. Goes, yeah, there you go. I'm in the class action lawsuit. I want a mountain bike with electric capacity. That's all I want, Camp Lejeune people. I don't mind that you gave me cancer.
That's what you'll settle for?
Yeah, it's class action.
You're bogus. You're frivolous lawsuit.
I know I got to pay the lawyer some, so I just want an electric bike. Pain and suffering, man. I don't blame the water for the cancer. I blame my addiction to the water. It's like when you have Camp Lejeune water, it's like Pepsi Cola. You're like, God damn, this is good. I'm gonna take some to go.
Yeah.
Fill up my piss jug with Camp Lejeune water. Syria Lincoln.
Sarah Lincoln.
Sarah Lincoln.
Well, Ed, do you remember the
Todd's
recommendations from last week?
Do I? Of course I do. Right off the top of my head. Frogging.
Did anyone watch Frogging?
I haven't watched Frogging. I haven't had. I don't have time to watch a lot of stuff. I have to go back over this stuff.
You need to get a little.
I want to watch Sprung too.
Can't you get a watch that you can watch TV on while you're working? Little headset, and
yeah, I can't wear headphones.
Pretty soon they'll be mandatory, but you won't get to pick the channel.
No, it'll just be Elon coming through on my watch, telling me to go faster.
Well, I did watch Sprung. Oh, go ahead, Chad.
Oh, I was gonna say I did try to watch Frogging and realized that my stoned ass had seen the first 3 episodes of frogging, and it's I like it.
Yeah, it's a good one to just zone out to, but it is creepy in a weird Midwestern hotel room at 3 a.m. and waking up not knowing where you're at, then all of a sudden seeing this weird closet that freaked me out. So that's one to be aware of if you've got something like that on the horizon. Don't watch frogging. It's creepy. But I did watch Sprung and I fucking love it.
Oh, nice.
Dude, that is so good.
What's that one again, Chad?
That one's on Freevee, which comes up on Prime.
Yeah, it's
Amazon Prime.
Ggreg Garcia who wrote,
okay,
who wrote a bunch of like, My Name is Earl and stuff like that. Good characters, and it's fucking it's good.
I got
Good
it
story.
written down somewhere to cancel Prime October 5th to it. I had to join it because they fucking hijacked Thursday Night Football. I did not know it till Thursday night. Well, I sat down to watch the game and like game ain't on. Then I researched it, found out it was on Amazon, and they stole Al Michaels too. Al Michaels is on there. He's no longer on.
They went full court press, man. They
have
really fucking went for it.
They have the top guy, that college guy. Fuck, what's his name?
Kirk Herbstreit.
Kirk Herbstreit.
I don't really care for him.
Yeah, he's pretty bland. You know, he doesn't bring what usually color commentary brings to a game.
I like the halftime team though.
I like that they can whore it up more. They, like network, they pull away from the cheerleader's crotch or whatever. I feel like if I can keep my subscription, I think I'll see the growth of, their whoring folk, because they've already they're basically saying fuck you to the football fans and going, you're no longer getting a free Thursday product. It's like when we took our episodes away from YouTube and went just to Patreon.
Weren't a lot of the Thursday night football was already not free?
It was on NFL Network, but that was part of my package. Now
I
gotta pay.
Oh, okay.
Now
tailored for you.
But I'm gonna try to watch everything I can in 30 days and cancel them. But then I'll be missing football, so I gotta pay they got me. I'm in, Bezos has got me. Finally got figured out.
Everybody has Prime.
Yeah.
But I'll bet they made so many
future,
millions. Man. How many millions of dollars do you think they made Thursday night when people realized, oh shit, it's on Amazon? And I bet
that's why you put money into it, and you have
streaming
values.
services are fucking assholes. I wish they'd all get along and stream one. Just let's all stream together.
You're looking at it all wrong, Andy.
Calm down,
Prime
baby.
is all about the free shipping on your Amazon stuff and the Prime deals, and the streaming is just a free bonus.
That's extra.
On. Yeah.
It's included.
Shit now.
Yep.
That's how they get you.
Oh man.
I could get my I'll get my mailman because they have to do deliveries on Sunday. I don't know that he does them though, but if he did them, I could have him bring that shit up on Sunday and sit down and watch some Red Zone and get high, talk about Carlin and how we're both alpha males. It's like, that's what I wanted to say to him. I said, when he said sorry about all that, I said, no big deal or whatever. I should have said, no, man, it's cool. We're just a couple of alphas clashing horns.
Wolf pack. Clashing horns.
Couple of mountain goats.
Yeah, a couple of mountain
Or you
goats.
should have apologized for the shit that you did that he doesn't know about.
Yeah,
Hey,
sorry.
that's all right, man.
Well, I
I
was thinking
trying to flatten your fucking tires.
No, I flattened them, and then that's a I thought about that, but that's a federal thing.
Yeah, that's
Probably.
interrupting the mail.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's why I'm surprised you're making friends with this guy, Andy.
What I should? Oh, I'm not telling him that part.
Just keep your mouth shut.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you don't have to tell him that part. Once he gets cozy, he's going to look at the podcast. Once he's your buddy.
That's why I get him
He'll
over
never
here
make
and
it
say,
that far in.
here, smoke some weed, and then go. You see that camera over there? That recorded, this is called comportment, motherfucker. You're going to find all that mail you were supposed to deliver and deliver it. Now, get a hooker over here, catch him with a hook or something.
Most of my Amazon packages come from UPS, Andy. So I think it's a move.
And that ain't even UPS neither, man. They're ripping you off. They're ripping all of us off because they have.
Who is?
UPS has a sub outfit. That's why that was part of the reason I couldn't get my shoes. It wasn't UPS, and it was this other group that UPS, they drive around in UPS looking. They dress like UPS. They drive UPS, but they're private contractors or some shit. They drive around in their fucking, they don't have the same work ethic as UPSers. So they sat on my shoes.
What are you talking about, Andy?
There's a deep state UPS.
Yeah,
Andy, is that what you're
yeah.
That UPS is somehow subcontracted?
A pseudo UPS?
UPS ground, it's UPS ground and UPS freight or some shit. One of them is
it's all UPS.
It's like Gallagher and Gallagher's brother.
No.
Gallagher is bringing.
That's not it at all, Andy. UPS ground and UPS freight are both UPS. Gallagher 1 and Gallagher 2, they were not. They weren't copacetic. They had a problem with each other.
Before I go all spouting facts, I'll have to go back and do some research. But I think that's true. In fact, the other ones, because in fact, I had this conversation with one of them because he was delivering a package to my neighbor, and I said, I thought you guys didn't come up this hill. And he goes, oh, that's the ground or whatever it was. But there's a lesser UPS. There's a retarded brother of UPS. It doesn't, it's like the Navy SEALs and the Navy.
Perfect analogy.
Yeah. See, there's some guys who'll fucking gut you.
I'm gonna just say Andy doesn't understand how UPS works. We'll call it there. But
enjoy your Amazon Prime, Andy. You've got a lot of new good shows you can watch on there.
I'm gonna watch The Boys.
Go back through the recommendations and see what was on.
I'm gonna binge watch Boys, and I'll watch.
Well, that's a good one.
Yeah,
Boys is all right.
I need a cleanser from Cobra Kai. I feel dirty for watching it.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Did you get through it?
No, I stopped watching that.
No, that one's dead.
You're gonna miss the 3 sensei fight.
They're just making up shit.
How is it karate? Like karate is ridiculous. Like I mean, the way they're portraying it is like if you're having a show about high school football coaches and 4 of them meet on a day off to fight.
Fight in a parking lot like Philo Beto in Any Which Way But Loose.
Yeah.
You go, fucking, this is over the top, man. But it's like, karate. I guess if you know karate, you're always like, prone to use it in a situation where
Head
you're
on a
annoyed.
Swivel, you're ready to go.
Yeah. I'd be afraid to use karate these days because of people with guns. You start that shit, you start that Cobra Kai shit in a supermarket, somebody's gonna blast you in the fucking head.
Yeah, some hillbilly standing his ground.
Yeah, I had that right.
See?
Yeah. So oh man, did you see the hatchet fight in the McDonald's video?
What?
Chad?
What?
There's a brother. He's a brother. He takes he's being harassed. There's a situation going on at a McDonald's in New York. And then there's a fight, and this one pretty big black guy is getting punched in the side of the head. He's like leaned over a garbage can or one of their garbage police stations or whatever, where you clean out your shit. It's flat. I think it's like that, but they're just pounding, and these guys are like taking glee in the fact they're punching this guy in the side of the head, but they do not see his expression. If they saw his expression, they would stop punching and clear out. Because he seemed unaffected by a lot of these punches. Maybe it was drugs, or maybe he just takes a punch well. But then he calmly went, and this is inside of a mall or something. I'm just thinking about that they had their bikes outside of the inside of a place. But anyway, he goes and he gets his backpack, and the people are fairly calm in the restaurant. Well, this guy who just got punched in the head is getting something out of his backpack. So I guess New York is just a different place, because I'd be clearing out. And he pulls out a hatchet, and that doesn't scare people out of the place. But he goes, and he does quite a bit of property damage in the. Yeah, there he is. He's a
How
big
did I miss
motherfucker.
this? I love
Yeah,
these
Like Carl
videos.
Weathers.
These are
He does
most
a lot
of the type of videos that should be in my algorithm because these
Uh-huh.
are the ones I watch
There's
all the
a-
way through.
There's a
and
girl sitting in the
sometimes more
booth
than
where
once.
he's like yelling at her and he's like menacing the thing, and she don't even really like move. Like she's not like,
That's
you know,
it right
like,
there.
Uh-huh.
Right there.
Right. She's like, okay, man, whatever. I mean, she didn't really say
I'm
anything.
on my
but-
phone, Dick.
Yeah. Well, you know, but he doesn't hit anybody with the thing, but he takes it out on that McDonald's. And the guy, I think this girl gets between one of the guys who was sucker punching,
Yeah,
go,
right here.
no. Yeah, right. Yeah. But that dude was sucker punching the shit out of him. And then there was a white dude who was hitting him on the side of the head too. And they were having a good time going, whatever. I wish I could hear the conversation.
What started it? Were they making fun of the guy's shorts?
I'm
Those
not
were some
even-
really
I'm
short
not even-
shorts.
Yeah. You know, he
I mean,
rode
you
up,
don't
he rode,
expect a guy with that kind of shorts on to be
yeah,
carrying a
him and
hatchet.
a partner rode up on their bikes inside a mall. It looks
Man,
like.
those are Chuck Norris shorts.
And
Yeah.
so I mean, you know, he might have thought he was at the gym or something, but he was kind of looked like he was, you know, being a tough guy. And then these guys, you know, they had numbers.
I mean,
It's
if
like
you
that-
looked at this, before he
Oh.
grabbed the hatchet, you said, all right, this man is going to go to his backpack and grab something.
But he had,
What do you think it's going to be?
Oh,
You
no.
would never think hatchet.
yeah.
In New
And then-
York,
Then you hear this guy. I don't know if he's the one filming or he's standing by the guy filming. And he's a black kid too. And he goes, that's why I always carry a knife. Because of a hatchet coming out of a guy's bag, just in case.
you
Yeah,
carry a
that-
knife because you haven't considered someone having a hatchet.
think
Now
they
you have
said
to
they-
rethink.
He did thousands of dollars worth of damage to make
Yeah.
a point. It's like that doesn't do anything to the guy who sucker punched you. But those guys all stayed in the restaurant too. You know, if I was one of the guys sucker punching him and then I saw that smile on his face, I'm a half a mile away while he's getting that hatchet out of his bag. I'm the first one out of that restaurant. And then I'm watching the news clips going,
Yeah.
man with hatchet at McDonald's. Oh, here it is. Here.
Yeah.
But one of the more entertaining, nobody got hurt. And then the guy rode away on his bike, like a kind of a, you know, like a Gary Busey type superhero.
I hate that story.
Well, I mean, with the
That's not
hatchet,
even going to look for it now.
If you're
I'm
gonna pull
usually-
a hatchet out on somebody, you fucking hit somebody with it. And he kind of seems like a douchebag. I think somebody should have took his hatchet and hit him in the fucking head with it, and then everybody
you
there
know what would have been a
say,
ballsy
"Hey, man,
move is
just
if he
disarm
tells
the
that-
crazy
if
person."
he goes to that girl and he goes here, and he gives the hatchet to the girl to go, give this to your boyfriend, and then he beats his ass. I mean, he could take a punch. That's the guy after taking about 10 wallops to the head, where they had all the right leverage and everything. They threw the punch they wanted to throw and shit, and it didn't phase him at all. So I think he really didn't need the hatchet. He could have pulled out a Bible and they might have cleared the fuck out. But it was it's you know, as far as taking a punch, I give him that. But as far as a hatchet man, is that him?
That's him.
Fuck
He was
yeah,
arrested
man.
later on.
Juggalos
Carry-
for life.
Wow.
He seems like a really mild-mannered guy. I mean, there's some other pictures of him smiling, giving an explanation of why all that happened.
If you're getting hit by 4 or 5 people at one time at a McDonald's, you know, you're probably not that cool. It might
Oh,
be
here-
a gang of.
Here's
But
the
did they
shot.
arrest-
Here, I'll show you.
I
I'll
hope
show
they
you.
arrested all of them because he got assaulted at first, I believe. He overreacted with the hatchet, but he got
So here's the,
Well, maybe
the
he
sucker
gets
punch.
assaulted all the
He
time.
was just sitting. He was just
yeah.
sitting
Look at
there.
that. Yeah,
And they fucking started punching him. So
yeah. You know that guy's had police dealings. I'm not resistant, but he realized about 2 or 3 punches that they weren't doing anything to him at all, and he just stood there. It would have been cool if he'd have taken a pull off that soda. While they're punching him. But I don't get how, like,
Eat
you
a
know,
French
man.
fry.
Yeah.
I mean, hey Chad. I mean, you're more of the fighter here. Look
I-
how
I-
horrible this guy's like
So-
his body stance and the way he's gonna punch.
So he's purposefully ignoring these guys. He's what the colloquialism would be giving them enough rope to hang themselves. He's justifying in his mind, I'm gonna hit him with a fucking hatchet because I didn't do anything. I sat here and I took it for fucking this long. They deserve it if I hit him with a hatchet. That guy is a psychopath.
Right there, he's thinking.
They're very lucky he didn't murder him with a fucking hatchet.
That guy's thinking in his head, he's going, oh, that's right. I do have the hatchet in my sack.
Yeah.
Time to get old Bertha.
Dude, he's thinking about that hatchet right there.
Right there.
It's an interesting piece of video, just how calm people in New York are when somebody's waving around a fucking hatchet, man. I was expecting somebody to get their head split open, and when that guy just gets on his bike and rides away and no one's hurt, it's just like, wow, it was a fucking lot of drama and nothing happened. No, really. I mean, the McDonald's, they're like, oh, this is just a bummer,
Well, here's another interesting shot. Let me pull it up here. Here's the guy that's punching. See the guy in the white shirt? Here he is after.
Pea stain on his pants.
Yeah.
Growing down the side of his leg.
Bro, I didn't know you had a hatchet.
No one said nothing about no hatchets.
Sorry, to be honest, I thought you were going to be knocked out by my second punch. I really don't want to see this come back around.
Have you seen season 5 of Cobra Kai?
He's like, I'm Pete Davidson. This is a skit from Saturday Night Live. Don't hit me with that.
You see the cameras over here. Officer.
Holy fuck. Well, that's a good recommendation, Andy. I don't know if yours was.
Yeah, look for it, everyone.
Axeman. Best one you've had in a while.
Yeah. Okay. Because I had a half-hearted AC/DC one.
David.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll watch that all the way through.
I'll just tell you something I watched on a recommendation. Erickson Training Day was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Watched it from the beginning. And I'd seen parts of that movie, but I'd never seen it all the way to the end. It was good.
I wouldn't even
Denzel Washington and Ethan Hawke are incredible in that movie.
And I wouldn't even say Denzel's a villain so much as he's just a fucking insane fucking person in that.
He's totally a villain.
Oh, he's a villain, but he's
a
just
piece of shit.
He's a crazy motherfucker.
Yeah.
He's he doesn't seem mentally well as a character.
Depiction of a cop.
Yeah, he's a cop.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is.
Yeah, I think that's probably my favorite of maybe both of those guys in a movie.
It's right up there.
Sure. I mean, I've enjoyed Denzel in a lot of things, but that one,
of course,
he was just like fucking menacing and a scumbag, and you just wanted to see him get shot.
Well, he very rarely plays the bad guy, so you don't get to see that very often. So it's interesting when he does it.
Yeah, he was even a hero as the pilot that was flying hungover on coke. kind of heroic.
Yeah. Well, I watched something that I enjoyed this week on Hulu. It's the stand-up special from Byron Bowers. I don't know if you guys know who Byron Bowers is, but he's fucking great. A great guy. Guy I got to know a little bit in Los Angeles, an Atlanta comic, an actor. He's been in a bunch of stuff now. He's doing as much acting as he is stand-up. A very thoughtful, just a real unique sort of dude. And I can't say the title of the special because I'm not allowed to, but it's really, really good. My only complaint about it is that the sound at the venue wasn't great, and you kind of have to just tune your ear into it a little bit. But
what's it on?
It's on Hulu.
Okay.
What's the name of it? You want me to say it?
I know you'll say it. Yeah, if Chaille just moves over just a little bit to the side, you can see. There you go. There it is.
It doesn't even have an R on it. You can say that.
Well, that's part of the first. That's part of the first bit. But he's great. Byron's fantastic, and he's been in a bunch of stuff, and is really blowing up. And God, I fucking love the guy, and his stand-up is incredible. And he goes into areas and has like a he has like a pace that's different from everybody else. It's not set up punchline, it's stories. He talks about his dad who was schizophrenic and a crackhead growing up in Atlanta and growing up with his dad and how crazy that was, coming to sort of some sort of and he started doing psychedelics as an adult and where that kind of took him. It's fucking fantastic.
Sounds
I'm happy for the dude because he deserves all the best and he's super talented. Check it out. Byron Bowers.
Yep.
And our friend Julie Seabaugh is writing a book about Byron Bowers.
Really?
So she was smart because she got on the Byron Bowers train real early. So I think, he's great.
I mean, what's there to write about? He's
had a fucking crazy life. I mean,
okay,
he's famous.
So yeah. Oh yeah, he said his dad was fucked up.
But he's got a story, man. It's wild.
I feel like I might have recommended this one already, so you guys will have to tell me if I did. But it fits in with what we were.
Woodstock '99.
Oh man,
on
Flea
Hulu,
was nude.
Neighborhood Wars.
No.
Neighborhood.
Okay, so there is one called like Fear Thy Neighbor that I watched that was just people telling stories about their horrible neighbor experiences, and a lot of them ended in murder and stuff, so it was pretty good. Well, this is like a newer version, Neighborhood Wars, where there is like security footage, cell phone footage. There's actual footage of crazy ass neighbors and people's interactions with them, and it's pretty funny.
This looks pretty good.
What's it on, Chad?
Hulu.
Oh,
okay,
right.
I got that one too.
Yeah,
I'll get into that. Oh yeah.
This is not a recommendation, but it's something I did research on. Is crickets do synchronize? If you were wondering.
Not really.
It's very
They try
peaceful.
to. They try to get, if you hear the perfect group of them, it's like the Beach Boys of crickets.
Yeah, no, they synchronize.
Yeah.
they
get
harmonize.
Yeah.
That's it. All right. Well, you guys can hang out and keep going, but I got to get up in a couple of hours. So I got to go to bed. All right.
Well,
I feel like you were going to say
Why
something.
you put that on us like that all of a sudden? I gotta get out of here too.
I for real, it's late for me.
All right,
An old
wrap
foot-
it up, man.
Well, I'm trying.
Yeah.
You're
All right,
steering the ship.
Thanks for being out there, you guys. Join up on our Patreon if you would like to. We got fun special stuff over there. It's just $5 a month. And like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and jump on the comments and tell us things. We like that stuff too. So we'll be right back here next week doing it again.
One more plug. Hold on.
All right.
Chad, plug your thing on Saturdays.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be doing Zoom meetings on Saturdays. Last time we had about 10 people or so in there bullshitting on Zoom on Saturday, and I realized I had people still subscribing on Twitch, and I didn't really want to do video games, or I felt weird with that. So I'm twitching a Zoom stream, so you can hang out on Twitch and hang out in the chat, or in the chat will be a link to join the Zoom and hang out in the Zoom.
Nice.
Saturdays.
Right. Saturdays. That sounds like fun. All right. Good deal. And that's it. We love you guys. Thanks for being out there. And we'll see you next time. Peace.